Thursday routine briefing. My name's Brandon Locklear. I'm a senior forecaster here in Raleigh, and we'll get right on to the forecast. We just had a very wet couple of days, and it looks like we're going to have another series of wet days. But today does look like the one dry day over the next several. I say that, and we still have a very isolated chance of a few showers later this afternoon, or even could be an isolated thunderstorm, but it looks like to be mostly showers. Then as we get into Friday, tomorrow, we're going to start seeing rain chances are going to start to increase from the west. And by the afternoon and evening, those showers will start to spread east into central portions of North Carolina. We could have a few embedded thunderstorms, but we currently do not anticipate those storms to be severe. And then we're really expecting a very wet period Friday night through Sunday, as you can see here in these three graphics. I would say right now, Saturday looks to be the wettest period, where we also have the potential to see some strong to severe storms on Saturday. When it's all said and done, we're likely looking at 1 to 2 inches area wide. Again, that looks to be mostly Friday night through Sunday. Now, by Monday and Tuesday, it looks like things will start to dry out. However, there are some models, as you see on here in this bottom image here for Tuesday, this area of low pressure. Some of the models keep this area of low pressure a little bit closer to the coast and suggest that we could see some lingering rain on Monday. But right now, we're indicating mostly dry conditions on Monday. So we'll see how that ends up evolving. But Tuesday looks dry, and then our next rain chance could return as early as Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, with this front that you see draped across the central part of the United States. So a very, very wet pattern that we're currently in. So we look at the rainfall, and again, you can see that starting basically Friday, and most of this rain you see here in the middle top graphic, most of that's going to occur after sunset Friday. So Friday evening, Friday night, and then you can see that on Saturday where we have the heavier, the blues and even some of the magentas. We're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain across the area. And then we continue to see the potential for a 1/4 to 1/2 inch, maybe even a little bit higher across the east on Sunday. Now, the difference between Saturday and Sunday, Saturday will be more convective, meaning better potential for thunderstorms. For Sunday, that should be more of a rain and showers, a little bit more stratiform, especially as you back out here in the triad towards Greensboro. So less convective for Sunday. And then you can see there's those very lingering light rain chances that are possible there on Monday in that bottom middle graphic there. Looking in terms of severe potential, I mentioned that, yeah, we have a chance for some general thunderstorms for Friday, but right now it looks like our best chance for storms looks to be Saturday afternoon. At this point, I would say probably sometime between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. And right now, the main threat looks to be damaging winds and hail. Looking at our excessive rainfall outlook, or what's our risk for flooding. Again, the really wet rain is going to start Friday night, but it looks like our best chance is going to be for any flooding is going to be Saturday. I mentioned 1 to 2 inches of rain, and generally when we see 1 to 2 inches of rain, we're looking at mostly urban and portage drainage areas that are most prone to seeing flooding. And that kind of sets us up for this next graphic, kind of looking at what we've had. So, we've seen some pretty significant rain over the last 2 weeks across the state, and that has certainly tilted it in the opposite direction of what we were trending in April. April was a very dry month, and so from May 1st through May 15th, this is this graphic here. We've had, well, I'm sorry, this is for the last 7 days here, but we've had 1 to 4 inches across the Piedmont, and as we look out into week 2. We're still calling for favorable or wetter than normal chances as we basically close out May. And because of that, we're starting to see the stream flows are starting to respond. We had a couple of locations along the Hall River and Bynum, and places go into minor flooding yesterday in response to that rain. Go to the 8 to 14 day outlook. Kind of already showed you the precipitation, but basically we're looking at near to above normal in terms of temperatures and rainfall. One thing we have seen because of the wetter conditions, we've been able to really keep that heat at bay. And you will see that similar theme later on when I show you our temperatures mostly being in the 70s and low 80s for the next several days. In terms of, again, where's the hazardous weather going to be? We did have some fog. You see fog was highlighted here, and that was from this morning. We had some fog across the southwestern portions near Charlotte and just east of Charlotte this morning. But otherwise, we're all looking at basically the wet conditions and the showers and thunderstorms that are bringing our basically are driving our hazards over the next couple of days, with Sunday being our marginal threat there for severe storms. But as I mentioned, you can see that our temperature forecast over the next several days, you're seeing a lot of like low to mid 70s in the forecast and a few low 80s. Our driest days, which is today and Friday, that's where we're going to be the warmest. And I would not be surprised, especially here on Sunday, if we end up being a little bit cooler. We're going to get kind of on that cool northwesterly side of the low pressure system, and some of our guidance shows temperatures struggling to get out of the 60s on Sunday. So if you live in the Triad or if you live up there near the Virginia border, I definitely think you will see some 60-degree temperatures on Sunday. So be prepared. Again, it's going to be a wet weekend. Our greatest severe threat is going to be Saturday. That will also bring us our greatest threat for flooding. Right now, it looks like Friday afternoon is our best chance, and those strongest storm cells will be able to produce the main threat will be damaging winds and hail.